Anyway, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hefsiba. I film about life as an international student in the USA. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, and when I'm shooting this video, I'm still not ready to talk about it. And yeah, I've been pushing back to talk about this, and I'm just like, wow, should I really share this or not, or should I just keep it to myself? Anyway, I naturally want to keep things to myself, but I have decided to share my story, share my journey, and encourage people through it. Encourage young women and men through my story. And so I feel like sharing this would help, but like I said, I'm not sure if I'm ready to share it, but here it goes. I have to. Cheers. Get your tea ready, your water, or whatever you want to get ready. I just have my water, so yeah. So guys, today is going to be actually a story time. Yes, it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a different video. It's a story time, and I'm going to share with you guys a story, and then I have a huge announcement to make. And so yeah, get your popcorn and just get ready. So here we go. I don't know why I'm nervous to share this, but yeah, you guys are going to see this maybe 2-3 months from now. But yeah, I just want to share this, and yeah, let's go. So a little bit about myself. I came to the United States in 2015 as an undergrad. Well, for my undergrad education in biochemistry. And since I came in January, my schedule was a little bit off, but we scaled through through the challenges of being an international student, through the closed doors, the open doors, the setbacks, the victories, and everything that comes with being an international, being a foreigner. And yeah, I grew my community. I found a community. Although physically I was in a different place, I was in a rural area, but I found my community. Anyways, I graduated in December. Well, yeah, I completed my program in December 2018, but my school only does its graduation ceremony once every year because it's a really small school. So I walked to get my degree, my diploma, in May of 2019. So it's been a year because I'm currently filming this in May of 2020. So yeah, so let me go back a little bit. So when we talk about being an international student, people always think that you're living your best life. Your parents are wealthy, you have no stress because you're not in Nigeria. And yeah, maybe to an extent we're not dealing with the same pushback or the same lack of structure that people back home are dealing with, but we're dealing with a different kind of challenge. One is we're not in our home country, so it means that basically the people here don't know what to do with us. Like, maybe if they're providing some sort of care package, or if they're providing some sort of avenue to help you grow, you'll probably not be the first that they're going to choose. Number two is you are not just competing against people like you're competing against the world, because there are other internationals from different parts of the world that you are competing against. So you need to be very, very prepared, very strong, high up there. Like, you need to be resilient and strong. Number three is you don't have your for some people, you don't have your immediate family members, you know, in the same country as you, which sometimes makes you feel alone and just makes you feel like sort of lonely because you don't have your family members and sometimes you miss them. Number 4, let's not even talk about the competition, okay? Like, oh, some you will see some things that you qualify for and they're like, oh, you have to be a permanent resident or, you know, a citizen to apply for this, and you know that this will help advance in your career, but you don't qualify for it. So you have to, the ones that you qualify for, you have to be mad competitive to get in. So, you know, just dealing with that for 4 years, I feel like I wasn't ready because I did not think that it was going to be that difficult to be an international student. I felt like with the picture they painted for me before coming, I felt like, you know, they would welcome me with open arms and be like, oh girl, go for it if that's what you want. I didn't realize how much resistance or pushback that we're going to get just because we were not from, you know, this country. So dealing with all of that in college and, you know, some other things, by the time I graduated, I was just so excited to be done with college. And that's also, I had to add that I went to a very small school in a rural area. So it wasn't like I could meet with people that had my background. When I say my background, I mean like maybe other immigrants that, you know, understood sort of my struggles. But I must say I was really blessed to go to the school I went to. I was really blessed to meet the amazing people that I met. I was really blessed to have mentors that stuck up for me, like they stuck out their neck for me. Like thinking of some of the things that they did for me, I'm just like, wow, I was really blessed to have those people in my life. And I feel like partly I had those because I went to a small school and they were able to identify me from cough office hours. So I'm very grateful for my school and, you know, everything that I went through there. But by the time I graduated, I was so tired, or should I say exhausted, because if my mom watches this, she'll be like, no, you're not tired in the name of Jesus, God forbid. But I was, okay, no, I was worn out. I think that's the word I was looking for. Like I just wanted it to be over and then just be like, that's it. Because it was more like a marathon with everything I was dealing with in school. So I was worn out and I was just like, oh, I'm grateful that I have my bachelor's of science and that's it. And but while I was an undergrad, like in my third year, I decided that I was going to further my education. But I knew that I needed to take I needed to take time off to sort out some things before going back to school. And I was just like, I need to take a break and just breathe before going back to school and dealing with this whole international students here, non-internationals here, before you come together. So, you know, I decided to take time off, but I knew I was going to further my education, and I knew I didn't want to do a master's. I knew that my ultimate goal was a PhD, because I am, like I said, I'm in the science field and I love research. And so I knew for a fact that I wanted to do a PhD program in biomedical science, and like something that would like that would directly help, or like that would play a major role in healthcare. So I knew that I wanted to do a PhD and all of that, but I just really wanted to take time off. Anyways, January 2019, I started talking to people. I had mentors, I had friends that fortunately I had friends that had finished their PhD, some that were, you know, starting, and I had a mentor who was also a Nigerian. So what had happened was I started asking them questions and, you know, just planning, reading. I was trying to plan out the application process and just everything that would help me get into a PhD program. So yeah, you know, I spoke with people. I found out that applying to PhD programs is a battle. when people told me, you know, it's different when people tell you something versus when you experience it. So I had a friend that told me, oh yeah, you know, maybe you could try to use networking to get into some of the schools that you're interested in, because that would be half the battle. I didn't understand how intense the battle was until I finished the application in December, and I was like, whew, wow, that was a lot. And that was not even the end. But anyways, I knew that I wanted a PhD program, and I started you know, planning towards it, you know, identifying my schools and all of that fun stuff. But you know, in planning all of that, I was just going through a lot mentally. I think it was, you know, thank God I'm still young, that some of my problems are just in my mind, and so since they're just in my mind, I can change them by how I think. But you know, planning the whole application process, planning, you know, about grad school, learning about the odds, because you know, sometimes I'll talk to people and they're like, yeah, you know, we went for a conference, and in this conference it was just PIs, and then somebody asked, what are your chances of being, so someone asked, does being an international student affect your chances of being accepted into a PhD program? And most of the PIs said yes. So hearing things like that was a little bit discouraging, I must say. Was a little bit discouraging, a little bit scary. So I was so excited about applying, because I knew that that was my ultimate goal. And just showing people my CV, they would be like, oh wow, you have quite a good CV, you have quite experience, you're already doing some of these things that grad students do, so it shouldn't be a problem for you. Like, it sets you up and all of that, you know, fun, even when your people are hyping you. And I was just feeling on top of the world, like, yes, finally I'm about to catch these people and get it, you know, and just get what I want. But I didn't realize how much it took, like how much energy it took, how much mental, like how much it affected like my mental health. I didn't realize how much prayers I needed, and just, you know, speaking to myself, encouraging myself, and also listening to my squad, my community, my support system. Very important. I'm realizing as an adult, it's very important to have a support system. Just encourage me, pray for me, and pray with me. I didn't realize how much I needed all of that until I started, you know, I studied for Jerry and all of that fun stuff. Anyway, I took the whole of 2019 to plan for my applications and to also apply. And even when I started my YouTube channel, I did not want to share anything about grad school applications or anything related to that other than masters. And that was partly because I was currently going through that. I was currently, you know, writing my personal statement, doing all this fun stuff, but I wasn't ready to share that. Anyways, by the end of 2019, I was just so excited that I was done with the application, because it was a lot. And in the coming videos, I'm going to be sharing with you guys what I did, what helped me, what I think I should have done differently, and just I'll share with you guys the process, the processes that I took, or the steps that I took, and then you can, you know, do whatever you want to do with it as usual. So anyways, by the end of 2019, I was just really so excited that I was done. In my head, I thought that the bulk of the work was in applying. I didn't even realize that, I mean, which is partly true. I think the bulk of the work is in applying, but I think you have to play your cards right in your application process. Like, your personal statement has to be angels singing your praise. Okay, so then came the waiting phase. A lot of PhD application has to deal with waiting. After planning and executing, you have to wait. There came the waiting and hearing back, and then the rejection. Oh, never in my life did I think I would get that much rejection letters. When I was getting those rejection letters, I was like, wee, even schools that I was so confident about. There were some schools that I was like, eh, is this what you people are looking for? I got you. Like, what area are you coming from? I have you covered. I legit felt so confident about some of my applications, and I got rejected. And then there are some applications that I was just like, even in my sleep, I'm getting into the school. That did not work out. But the good thing though is at the end of the day, everything worked out so well that I got into my dream school. So that's the announcement I have for you guys. So after everything, after all the challenges, after all the struggles, I got into my dream PhD program. I am so grateful to God. Like I said, I'm lost for words, because when I was choosing schools, there were some things that I wrote down that I wanted, and I was always praying about it, like, God, this and this and this and this is what I want from my school. And when I was choosing when I was choosing the schools that I was going to apply to, I chose 12, but I decided to just apply to 7, because I was like, let's just do trial and error. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, I'll try again next year. When I cut down the list, I knew that Baylor checked all the things I was looking for. I mean, except the location, because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to deal with Houston weather, which is the biggest thing for me, the weather. But they had everything: the program, the research, the community, the school size, the prestige. I'm sorry, I added prestige there just because why not? They just had everything I wanted. So let's just say they had 95% of everything I wanted in a grad school. Like, that was my top choice. That was the school I really wanted to go to, and I got in. For some reason, even the schools that BCM is higher than, like when you check the ranking, some of the schools that BCM is higher than, that I chose and that I applied to, some of them did not accept me. But BCM, like, God came through. I don't even know how to express my gratitude, but really, I'm still mind blown by this whole experience. I'm still in shock. And I've heard about, like, I've decided, of course, for me to be talking about it now, I've accepted the application. I've accepted their offer. I've already started making plans to move, because I'm recording this video in May, but you guys are most likely going to see this by the end of July. But I am just so, when I think about it, I think I just get overwhelmed with like a lot of emotions, because I feel like this is literally the second time in my entire life that I have wanted something so badly. I have prayed so much and it came through. In my entire life, the first was coming to the US, because I kept saying to God, I kept telling God that I didn't see me living out my purpose in Nigeria, and he came through. With my passport, I got into US, and after that, you know, just being an international student with my background and all, I've had to sometimes, you know, take up something that I know I really didn't want. I've had to settle a little bit. But when I was applying to my grad schools, I knew that this was what I was looking for. And the period when I was waiting, when I was just like, God, this is really up to you, I was already trying to think, okay, is it okay for me to settle for this other school? Because I also had other admission offers, and I was like, should I just settle for this? But I knew that those were not my top schools. I knew that those were not the things that, like, I didn't want those schools. So when I decided, at some point I was like, no, Hesba, you're not going to settle for less for this. This is your career, this is what you want. So I, at some point I just decided, God, if it's not BCM, then I'll wait. If it's not BCM, yeah, because at the time it was then just BCM I was looking at. I was like, then I'll wait and I'll apply the next year. And God came through. God came through. He really did come through. And I'm about to start my PhD. So I'm just here to, yes, I've made the announcement, but I'm really just here to encourage people. If you know what you want, set your mind, set your heart, set your eyes on what you want and go for it. Sometimes you may not really get what you want, and so you have to take your plan B or plan C. But just trust in God, trust in God's timing. Don't ever give up because you've been used to getting number 2. You know, like the saying, oh, when you're going for something, shoot for the star, so that if you don't get that target, you land on the clouds or something like that. Sometimes when you shoot for the stars, you get it. But don't give up, and just make sure, like, I remember that I almost did not apply to BCM. I almost just took that out of my list because I was looking at their requirements and I was like, Hezbollah, who are you kidding? And I just, you know, I was trying to reprogram my mind, reposition my mind to just in case, you know, things don't work out. I almost took BCM off my list when I was applying to school, but I still went ahead because I was like, you know what, at the end of the day, all they can say to you is no. Thanks, mom, for teaching me that. She'd always be like, oh, try something new, go for what you want, ask for what you want. At the end of the day, the worst they can say is no, but if you don't ask, then you're automatically not getting it. So that was what pushed, well, that was actually the only thing that made me apply to BCM. So I almost didn't go to my dream school, but I was just like, you know what, I will still apply. You know, there's no application fee, so I'm not going to lose anything. Like, let's just see. But I went extra and I'm going to explain the whole application process. I'm going to start a PhD series where I share my application process. I share the things that I did, even through interview after interview, moving down, and also just sharing my journey while I'm in school. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story time. I felt the need to first share this and share the announcement and just share how I felt going through, or even planning the PhD for my PhD application, going through the process and then finally getting in. Like I said, I'm here to encourage, to share my journey, to share my experiences, my stories with people. And I really want to encourage internationals not to lose hope. Yes, people would say, it's true. So sometimes you don't get into something that you're very, very, very much qualified for just because of your status, but sometimes you get into something that you might even feel like you're not qualified for because you have God. And this whole journey, my entire journey from leaving Nigeria to coming to the US has just been God. I am where I am today just because of God's grace and my support system. Just having that community and stuff like that, I think has helped me a lot, and I just want to, you know, pay it forward. I want to help. I just believe that there is a lot out there for people, and I want to encourage people not to be discouraged. So yeah, I'm going to share my journey. I'm going to share my PhD series, so look out for that. I will have a playlist dedicated to that on my YouTube channel where I share these PhD series with you guys, starting from my application process to my interview to everything afterward, and then to actually starting the PhD journey. And I hope that it helps people. I hope that it encourages people. And so yes, thank you so much for watching this, and like I said, and yeah, I hope that this helped. I I hope you guys enjoyed this, because this was just a story time. This was just me sharing my journey and sharing this big announcement. So yeah, your girl is studying her PhD. Watch out on becoming Dr. Hefzibah Ozioma. Yeah, and so yeah, thank you so much. Until next time, please be safe, and I'll see you guys. Bye.